Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
Dr. Rob, you have dedicated, and you're an ageless wonder, so I'm saying this with kindness, 4 decades to veterinary medicine, and you took it the traditional route, and you said, you know what? I need to spread my wings. I need to look into some holistic modalities, integrative medicine. And one of the things I was really impressed with you is back in the 90s, you were one of the first to be certified by the great guy from the University of Florida in acupuncture. And I cannot say his name, so you need to pronounce it for me.
Shen Shea is, but no, I was certified in acupuncture in 1993.
That's impressive.
And, a lot of people ask me, well, why did you even get involved in, all this integrative, holistic medicine stuff when conventional medicine looks like it's doing a pretty good job? And, after I graduated vet school, which was in 1982, I really thought I'd been taught everything I needed to do battle with all the diseases that our pets would have. But after a couple of years, I started getting frustrated. And it really was that frustration that drove my search to find new tools and new ways of looking at my patients' chronic diseases that could be better in terms of solving them, or at least providing them with better quality of life, than the conventional practices I had been taught. Now, I'm totally on board with conventional medicine. I think it's really
right.
I think it needs to be practiced properly. I think probably it's gotten a bad rap because it's been practiced improperly with, using dosages too high or the inappropriate drugs and things like that, not really looking at the patient. And that's what I learned, is that you have to look at the patient. You really need to look at the animal and not treat it like a diagnosis, but treat it like an animal that has a disease, and you need to treat the animal in order to treat the disease. So that's what got me interested in these things. And I started with diet, and then I moved into herbs, and herbs has been a great place to be. I've done many years. And back when we started getting the legalization of cannabis, I got into that full tilt, and, and still am very much into it, except that I'm working for a company now that is entirely all in when it comes to the medicinal mushrooms. So it was a logical extension of what I was doing to go to the mushrooms. As real mushrooms was created, we now had better sources for products that would have the good quality mushrooms in it. Because prior to that, there really were not many companies that provide those kinds of products, even though we've known that medicinal mushrooms are very valuable to the health of people and to their pets.
And Joni, I love how it's all about how it's sourced, how it's prepared. The efficacy matters, because you can get a mushroom in one place and another place, and how it's processed and all that makes a big difference. So can you talk about, on the site, realmushrooms.com, you're going to see chews, you're going to see capsules, you're going to see some powder form. You mentioned before, no grain, it's all 100% vegan. But I'm looking at it, and you're saying that some of these products, based on how they're prepared, can help boost the immunity. Tell us some of the things that mushrooms can do for our dogs and other pets.
Yeah, well, pretty much all mushrooms are immune modulating, so they're gonna support the immune system. In addition, all of when I say all mushrooms, the at least the medicinal mushrooms that we know of, they're all anti-neoplastic, so they have anti-cancer properties.
I want to say this word because you're going to laugh. It's a powerful antioxidant,
ergothioneine, which is, we like to say it's the most important vitamin that nobody's ever heard of.
We call it
Ergo for short.
Yeah, Ergo. I would do that too. I'll name my next cat Ergo. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, and Ergo's amazing, and it's something our body and any mammal's body has receptors for it. but the only source you can get it from is mushrooms. So
Wow.
it's clear that mushrooms, going back thousands of, we, as hunters and gatherers, we would eat mushrooms. And then as we became more industrialized, we started to consume mushrooms less. But I like to look at mushrooms as like health insurance. They bring a vigilance and a vitality to our system. And I'll leave it up to Doc Rob to go a little more into the science behind how that happens. Yeah. But
well, we talked about boosting the immune system, helping the heart. There's some ingredients that help the liver, but a couple ones that are really near and dear to a lot of our listeners climbing out of COVID is we have a lot of pets that have stress and anxiety and seasonal allergies. So Dr. Rob, take over the leash on that one.
Well, you mentioned a couple of different conditions. For stress and anxiety, we look at a mushroom called lion's mane. I mentioned it before. It's a very unusual looking mushroom. It's got these kind of looks like hairs or spines coming down from it. And it has traditionally been used for digestive system issues and it's very well for those. But recently, since we've been able to start cultivating and we're learning more about it, we've discovered that it also improves memory. It reduces stress and also improves cognition in general. So right now, lion's mane is the most popular mushroom in North America because of its ability to help with memory. There even are some studies in early Alzheimer's that show patients the progress of the disease slowing down or showing some improvement in mild Alzheimer's. So everyone's looking at it with a great deal of interest for that. And it is something that would be very good for our pets. In fact, it's so good that I formulated it into a soft chew to make it easy. Because, if you've got a pet that's stressed, you're not going to want to chase them down.
And stick that pill down their throat. Yeah.
And relax.
And scream while you're doing it. Yeah.
Doesn't work for me, No,
so it would make the dog roar.
For the cat.
Soft chews are cool. Yeah. They're tasty. They're very tasty. They contain the lion's mane, but they also contain another mushroom called reishi. You mentioned reishi earlier.
Right.
Reishi is also known for its calming properties. In fact, it's used commonly by Zen masters to aid in meditation. So I put those two together in the soft chew, and then I put a few other things in there to make sure they were going to work. For instance, a tryptophan and theanine, which are very important in creating serotonin in the body, which is relaxing and calming. I put some herbs in there that are calming herbs like valerian and catnip and lemon balm and passion flower. And so the combination of the amino acids and the calming herbs and the mushrooms in that soft chew, it works really well. Yeah. Really well. We call it relax mushroom chews. And
I like that. Do you ever feel like you're sort of a orchestra conductor, only you don't have players in front of you? You have all these wonderful herbs or mushrooms, and you're crafting a symphony of good health.
Thank you. That's pretty poetic. I know
it came out of me. I don't know where that came from.
Amazing.
Wherever it came from, keep it coming, But, I'm what they would call a product developer or a product.
I like that.
And so it's like being a cook. And I am a cook as well. I love the creative process in the kitchen, when I don't cook, when I can enjoy cooking. And so for me, it's kind of putting together that perfect combination of ingredients to create that perfect outcome. And so
I like that. It is at realmushrooms.com. Joni, you've had quite a career too. You've been a veterinary technician, which is to me frontline. I love all my vet techs. I'm a master instructor in pet first aid, and I do work with a lot of veterinarians and vet techs and first responders, and we help people learn about pet first aid in a fun, obviously goofy, but credentialed way. And I'm just wondering, because you also want pets to heal nicely, so you got into Canine Rehab. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So for those that don't understand what Canine Rehab is, it's like a animal physical therapist. So I just I was always interested in older dogs and movement. And I I went straight into integrative vet medicine when I became a veterinary technician in my 40s. So
Good for you.
yeah, late in life, loved it and got into the canine rehabilitation. So, we had an underwater treadmill. We worked with acupuncture, chiropractic, laser, pulse signal therapy, and it's just amazing to see dogs that would come in, typically in rehab, you see dogs that have been hit by cars, lots of long back dogs like dachshunds and others, unfortunately, lots of Frenchies that have sudden paralysis, amputations, etc. And sometimes these dogs, they're rolled in, they can't walk. And, within a few weeks, they're moving, walking. A lot of times in veterinary medicine and other things, you can't see a result. You just assume the animal's better. But what I love about rehab is that you actually it's very specific. You see something.